Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffery Combs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Good to be here with you on a beautiful Tuesday in Central California. I refuse to call it Northern California anymore because it's not Northern, it is Central. And I live in the Central Valley of California, Stockton, California. So I'm here with you every Tuesday on the Golden Mastermind Podcast. A long, long history of Tuesdays for my California corporation, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, going back to 1999. This podcast was originally a Tuesday afternoon conference call, and then within 6 months became a Tuesday night live conference call. Madeline, good to see you. So on Tuesday nights at 7:30 Pacific from 2000 till 2017, I hosted this call as a live call. And then in 2017, I moved it to a Facebook Live. I originally would do it upstairs in one of my offices, but I brought it back down here to my office. I'm in my home office, as you can see. That's one of my bookcases, and my office is filled with pictures of my clients. So I'm here with you on Tuesday afternoon podcast. And Jared Andre will come to my office this July when he comes to Millionaire Blueprint. I promised him to drop in the afternoon. So if you're here with me today, we're going to cover a really good topic, an exceptional topic. And Aaron, I want to thank you for you and Jared for bringing the team together of Josh and Yuritsa's team in South Beach. And thank you very much, Ryan Barrett. I see you. And if you're also a part of that team, thank you all for being here with me on the Golden Mastermind Podcast. And so those of you who are leaders and leader growers, this content is devoted to you and your mentors and mentees, and both Aaron and Jared, that would be you. I'm dedicating this content to all of you who are leaders and leader growers. Tony, good to see you this afternoon. One of the top inspirational speakers in Australia is a man named Pat Mesiti, Mesiti. You can look him up. And I've shared the stage with Pat multiple times. I first shared the stage with him in 2007 in Perth, Australia, for a group of 500 entrepreneurs. And that company then was called New Ways, and now it's called Modere. So back in 2007, I did an event with Pat Mesiti. I became very good friends with him. So this content, the content that I'm using today came from him. And Pat said at that event, he said, you learn from mentors and you learn from mistakes. Now, I've never forgot that term. So if you want to look up Pat Mesiti, he just crushes it. He shared the stage with me at More Heart Than Talent with Jim Rohn once in America. I brought him to the United States twice. Pat bought 1,000 books from me once. He bought my Procrastination Cure. He bought 1,000 units. And I have a CD set right here. Now, I don't have any more of these CDs, but you can go to my website and buy this on download. And so right there is Jim Rohn. So this is a mentoring CD set, and you can buy it at Golden Mastermind on download, so you can have it immediately. And it has Mark Victor Hansen, Jim Rohn, John Assaraf, Stephen Simon, the movie producer, who produced the movie What Dreams May Come. He also produced the movie Somewhere in Time. And then Myron Golden, for those of you who don't know who Myron Golden is, he's an 8-figure income earner in online marketing. And I was Myron's coach. It's amazing. He's an 8-figure income earner. I was Myron's first coach back in 2002. So, and I shared the stage with Myron. So here's some of the speakers in the back of this. It's a collection of some of my greatest content. And these men are mentors. Mark Victor Hansen. Now, this is not content that I took from them. This is content that they shared on stages with me. So I recorded their content over a period of time at live events, and that is the mentoring series. So mentors is a higher level of leadership, and it's a higher level of being able to be of influence and affluence. So if you're a mentor, you will attract mentees. And David Harris is on the line today. David is a man that I mentored, and then he became my millionaire apprentice multiple times for me. And I just saw a picture that David posted in in memories, it said from my office 2016. So David, good to see you. David was a top tier sales professional in the Midwest in corporate America, and then transitioned he's a top tier investor. David Hammer, good to see you. I want to also come in to congratulate David Hammer. Let's have a ovation for Dave. If you become a six-figure income earner in a month, I mean, that definitely deserves an ovation. So 6 figures in a month. That's amazing. Amber Schiff, good to see you. Another exceptional entrepreneur. There's a lot of exceptional people here this afternoon. So thank you for joining me. So let's move into the content today. So if you're a mentor, your objective is to attract mentees. So if you're a leader, you're going to grow a team and you're going to lead by example. And if you're a mentor, you're going to be able to take people to a higher level. These are people who actually deserve a different level of your time. These are the committed people in your team. They're the committed people in your life. So in a 12-step program, it's called a sponsor. So a sponsor will occasionally devote their time to what is in our world of 12-step recovery, it's called a newbie. So a newbie comes in off the street, and they come in and they join the 12-step programs, and they often go in through the outdoor. They don't stick. But if they get a sponsor, their law of probability is enhanced, because a sponsor will actually devote time to a person in recovery from service for and value without being compensated for it. That's the lore and the culture of a 12-step program. And the same applies in multiple situations. A mentee is someone that you are willing to really assist them with your next level of consciousness. When you're a leader, you're leading by example. And it's a different level of energy, because mentoring is like next level of consciousness. Now, you are going to learn from two situations. You're going to learn from repetition and experience. You're going to learn from your failures if you stay in the process long enough. And that's what mistakes is. So the topic for today's Facebook Live is dedicated to my friend Pat Mesiti, who did this amazing video. You're going to learn from your mentors and you're going to learn from your mistakes. So I've borrowed that content, that title from him many, many times. Now, mistakes, the great Jim Rohn said, are errors in judgment. So an errors in judgment is where you're able to look at the situation for what it is and then not personalize it. Now, I say this to my clients. For those of you who are new just watching me, my name is Jeffery Combs. I've been a success addiction coach in my 27th year. I've coached 10,000 clients one-on-one. Now, not just people that coached with me for half an hour, but people that actually hired me for their services for either 5 months to a year. So the content I'm sharing with you is on the bulk of a 26 plus year career, 10,000 coaching clients, and 100,000 hours. So the first step you learn to let go of is you let go of being critical. Now, you can look at a mistake and look at your mistake with honesty without being critical. Many people don't understand this. And in coaching, I've had people be baffled by it. They go, what do you mean? How do I be honest without being critical? Well, you do it by being honest without being critical. So if you grew up with narcissistic parents, if you're an adult child of alcoholic addicts, if you were traumatized as a child through sexual abuse, physical abuse, if you were singled out, hazed on the playground, singled out on the school, if you were called fat, held back in class, any multitude of situations, that is criticism, and that criticism then becomes internalized, and then it's internalized and created into I'm not good enough, which then manufactures weight issues because we stuff our feelings. It also shows up in pornography, drugs, alcohol, but specifically food, we will stuff our feelings. And compulsing dieting and food go hand in hand because they're both instant gratification. And if you live in this critical behavior, then your ego, lower self, will continue through your reticular activating system, the amygdala, that will consistently look for a familiar feeling so that you can replay that feeling over and over, which you become emotionally addicted to, which is also called disappointment and criticism. So the breakthrough factor today for you is to let go of all criticism of self and others. so that you are not the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. So as you let go of criticism, what you do is you be honest with yourself, and that means that you're able to see your character defects. So the 5-factor of breakthrough is, first of all, first situation is honesty, rigorous honesty. Second is acceptance. You accept where you are. Third is willingness. You're willing to take a look at yourself from rigorous honesty and begin to make simple, subtle changes. 4 is gratitude. You're grateful for where you are instead of criticizing yourself for where you are or thinking you should be somewhere further. You're right here, right now, and you're accepting that and you're grateful. And then 5 is you're practicing forgiveness. You forgive yourself for the errors and judgments, and you forgive other people who traumatized you, took advantage of you, lied to you, whatever they did, you begin to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is surrender. You're surrendering your will to be right. You're surrendering your ego. You're surrendering your pride, and you're focused more on being your best self. And as you begin to do that, now you're able to look at some of your mistakes differently. So if you have a lot of debt, you've failed at businesses, you've failed at relationships, you've had a series of challenges throughout your life, instead of looking at them as mistakes, you look at them as lessons, and you change the chemistry of it. It was a lesson you're learning, and you're learning from your mistakes. Rather, you hold yourself responsible for your errors and judgments, but you also stop criticizing yourself for them. Because if you keep playing them out over and over in your head, then you're going to continue to attract your reality, people and situations to fulfill your feelings of disappointment. This is why letting go is a skill set. It's the separation between the feelings and the events that shape them. Letting go is a longer breath cycle. Most of the planet holds their breath all day in fight or flight. They're holding on to the same set of circumstances and feelings from childhood, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And this is why so many people are in debt, don't have a way to create the profit to pay down or off their debt, and they live in overwhelmed states of anxiety where they can't get their car in their garage, they're hoarding, they can't let go, they're late, they're behind, and they continue to recreate the same set of circumstances and situations to fulfill the same feelings. It's called the neurochemical craving to an emotion that most of the planet becomes emotionally addicted to: anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt. So that's why you look at a mistake differently as of today. The mistake was a lesson. I have a long laundry list of mistakes and challenges. DUIs, public intoxications, drunk in public, drug arrest. I have a laundry list of them like this. Then business ventures, failed business ventures. Then personal relationships, a long list of failed personal relationships. Sabotage relationships, another list of these. So these are character defects that I'm able to look at from rigorous honesty, admit the errors of my ways, do my best to make amends, step 8 and 9 in any 12-step program, make an amend to the people that it's important I make the amend to, and the ones that it may hurt them or me, I make the amend to God with them. So that's the forgiveness component of mistakes and mentors. Now, where you are today, you don't need a mentor, you deserve one. So a mentor is someone in your life that can give you insight and wisdom. You can hire a coach, you can hire me, or you can also find people in your circle of influence that have this wisdom, that have this guidance that you seek. But you also want to be able to attract a mentor that you feel a connection with. And a mentor is not someone who's going to criticize you. You're looking for a mentor who will give you the insight and wisdom of the journey they've been through, who can assist you. Dale Tinsley is on today's call. He's a mentor that I highly recommend. There's other people that I've coached who I know that they are mentors and seek mentees. And you've also been a mentor yourself in multiple situations. You may have mentored your children. So mentoring is a skill, and it's a one-on-one situation typically. When you're leading, you're actually leading a group, or you're leading a team, or you're leading an office. But when you're mentoring, you're going to coffee. You go to sit down. You go into an office. You go into a relaxed environment. You go on a hike. You go on a trail. You go in Phoenix, Arizona, you go in Squaw Creek, or you go on Camelback Mountain, or wherever it is you go where you can really mentor someone. And it's a one-on-one situation where there's a connection that's formed. And the connection is based on trust, truth, and wisdom. And when you have a mentor, this is someone you respect. It's someone that you hold in a, not a sacred place, but you hold in a place of respect. And you respect that person, and instead of being confrontational with that person, you listen to them, and you listen to their insight, wisdom, and advice. Many people will hire a coach and then get into conflict with the coach because they can't let go of being right. Or they will be sensitive and defensive, or they will brood and pout. And this is not going, a really good mentor will not tolerate this. They will let you go because you don't qualify for their time. You're looking for someone who either you pay for their service or you actually can find someone who will give you that time for free. That's for your situation. So the 12-step programs foster that through what is called the sponsor, and then in the personal development sector and quantum physics and quantum consciousness. And you can find someone you can hire if that's what you're looking for, or you may be in a direct sales business or any multitude of situations. Maria, good to see you. Someone that you trust that will give you some extra time. But if someone's going to give you time, you want to be able to respect their time. And so if someone gives you time, that respect of time isn't something that you take advantage of. You don't, on their time, you that dedicated block of time, you're attentive, but off that time, you don't contact them, follow up with them, hound them, and you respect that time, because a mentor is different than a leader. Mentoring is individualized, and so that's why you're going to learn from mentors and your mistakes. Now, you may not have a mentor, but what you do is you can model yourself after someone who that you feel is someone of influence and affluence. That's what I used to do. I never had a mentor my entire first 10 years or as a coach, but I modeled myself after many people, specifically the late Jim Rohn. I started listening to his content in the late 80s and bought The Art of Dynamic Living on cassette back in the day. I started listening to him. I started watching him on VHS back in 1992. And I also was plugged into a program called TPN, called the People's Network. It was a trip. You bought a satellite dish, and it came to my apartment, and I hooked it up outside, and then I was able to get Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, Darren Hardy, and multitudes of people back in 1993 and 4. That was a direct sales network marketing company called the People's Network. It was very innovative for its time, never lasted, but that was also the beginning of me really starting to listen to men and women of influence and affluence. I also used to watch PBS. I used to watch Wayne Dyer. I used to watch John Bradshaw. I would model these people. I also would go to 12-step programs, and I would go to speaker meetings. And speaker meetings where they would bring someone in who had 17, 20, 30 years of sobriety, and I'd have 1 or 2 years, and I go, man, I want that sobriety. Well, 36 years is how much sobriety I have, one day at a time, over a long life and a long career. And I used to sit there and go, man, I can't wait to get my first chip. I can't wait to get my first 10-year chip. Well, I have all those by being one day at a time over a long lifetime. You're going to learn from mistakes, and you're going to learn from mentors. That is my topic for today's Facebook Live. Now, if you're attracting a mentor, you also want to be open to receive, not sensitive and defensive, not closed down. You want to hear what's meant along with what's said. And if someone's giving you insight, don't turn it into criticism. Listen to what they say and then filter it and put into application that which will empower you. And if you have a mentor, it's also important that you be and stay coachable. It's the same situation. You're coachable. You're receptive. So and then as you begin to understand the mentoring process, you can mentor yourself. And as you mentor yourself, then you can mentor others. There's a distinction between leading and mentoring. So leadership is you lead by example, and you're leading a team. You're leading a culture. You're hosting a Zoom. The difference between leadership and mentoring, it's much more of a one-on-one process, or can be a mastermind alliance, one or more of like mind coming together for a common cause. I used to do a group of 6, so there'd be 7 of us. I would do it on Tuesday nights after an event, after a day of production and an event we would host. Then we would collaborate in a round circle, and it was called a mastermind alliance. one or more of like mind coming together for common cause, purpose, goals, and outcomes. That's what a mastermind alliance is. And that was also small mentoring groups. So the topic for today's Facebook Live is you learn by your mistakes and you learn by your mentors. So if you don't have a mentor, seek one out. If you're looking for a one-on-one coach, I offer free 20-minute coaching sessions if you are seeking one-on-one coaching. So my coaching is never in a group. It's never text. It's not email. It's one-on-one. So it's a very in-depth one-on-one session. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can go to my website, goldenmastermind.com, request a free 20-minute call, or you can send me a request in Facebook Messenger. You learn from your mentors and you learn from your mistakes. Breathe, release, and let go. Have an outstanding afternoon. It's going to be a great year for us in 2025. Breathe, release, and let go. Goodbye, everyone.